Hi everyone, it's Keren here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new video in my series Personal Art Diaries, and what I want to share today is a very sensitive topic, and this is not specifically sensitive to me but something that I feel I should talk about because I really sympathize or empathize with people that are going through this, and it's very difficult for them, and I just really wish there was something I could do about it, although I do some things, and I'll tell you in a second what it is about. But I just feel that it's really important to talk about because a lot of people do not want to share this, or they feel embarrassed that they want to sharing this information. I find that these personal art diaries have been really helpful for people. I asked in my new Facebook group, Keren, Tamir, and Friends Creative Space, which I'm linking below, I asked a question of what would be some topics that would be interesting for people to know about or to hear about, and I wanted topics that are sensitive, that are something that people might not want to talk about, and I got a lot of suggestions, and this was one of the suggestions. But it's not only been suggested in that group, it's also been suggested to me by other people on my YouTube channel, and this is why I want to talk about it. The topic is about buying. I spoke before about buyer's remorse and the feeling of wanting to buy everything that we see but feeling guilty about buying it. But the topic that I want to talk about today is specifically about not being able to buy things. There are a lot of people that for whatever reason cannot buy certain products. Some of it is that they cannot afford it. Some of it is that they live in countries where these products cannot be brought into, or they're too expensive to be brought into. The shipping is atrocious. Like even me, that I live in Canada, and I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying that compared to the United States shipping, I am paying almost triple the amount. I sometimes pay the same amount of shipping as what my products actually cost, which is really crazy. So I cannot imagine if something has to be shipped to Europe or even to Asia, Australia, and so forth. So a lot of people tend not to buy the products because either it's too expensive for them, they can't afford it, and truthfully, they need to buy things that are necessary and that are more important than buying art or craft products. And I put all those products together because no matter what, arts and crafts products are expensive. Of course, there's some cheap ones as well, and that's something that I'm going to address in this video. But a lot of the products that we are showing out there are expensive, and unfortunately, we live in an enabling society where everybody wants the latest and greatest. And don't get me wrong, I am in that category as well. But this year, I decided that I'm going to be a little bit more sensitive to those people that cannot afford things. And for my sake, I also don't want to spend so much money. So I decided that I'm not going to buy everything and anything that I want. I'm only going to buy those things that I really feel like I must have. And the rest I'm going to leave for another time or not buy at all. And the reason why I'm even buying to begin with is because this is my job and I need to make a living somehow, and I really enjoy creating. But what I'm going to do this year is that I'm going to focus on not only creating with the new stuff, but also, number one, creating with the old stuff, and on top of it, creating videos that are made with extremely inexpensive stuff that is a very frugal way of creating. And I'm going to show you how to do that because there are ways. I have done videos, lots and lots of videos on how to create different textures with really inexpensive recycled stuff like coffee, tea leaves, netting, cheesecloth, things like that. And you can watch that video on my YouTube channel. I've used art hacks on how to use like little pieces of credit cards or like room keys to just create art. So there's a lot of things that you can use that are very inexpensive to create art. So if you are wanting to create, you should really not be stopped by the expensiveness of things. And why I say that is because creativity, as I've talked about in other personal art diaries, is something to express our soul, to express what we feel, and that helps us get through our lives. So it doesn't really matter what products we use, it's just how we express through those products. And I'm going to show you ways that you can actually create inexpensively. I was actually challenged by my friend Maria, and this topic was also one that a girl named Vanita in my Facebook group asked about. And both of them basically address the same thing, that it's really hard for those that cannot afford to do things. But I want to show you that you can somehow do that. And actually, my friend Maria has shown me certain ways, and she challenged me to create something out of nothing. Basically, create things that are very, very inexpensive, use things that are very, very inexpensive, and basically create stuff from very, very little material. And I'm going to show you this week how that is done. I took on that challenge because I really feel it's important. There's so many people that cannot afford things. And what I'm going to try to do is balance between affording things and buying things and creating things with the things I bought and creating things with the things I want to just show you that are inexpensive. I have to show both worlds because I have many different viewers from many different categories of life. So it's really important to kind of address both worlds. And don't get me wrong, new products are really, really fun to use because they get you excited and inspired. But I also get inspired by new challenges, and this is a really big challenge that I really want to do. Another thing that needs to be addressed is the feelings surrounding that. And I want to reassure you that although it is so difficult to not be able to afford things, what we should really focus in is like that we want to create. And it is hard for me to really I've never been put in your shoes. I am grateful that I've been able to buy products and over the years get products from companies, and that's something that I encourage you to start creating and see if you can win challenges and get onto design teams. That will help you get some more products to use. But if you can't do that, I don't want you to feel discouraged of not creating just because you can't afford products, because there's many, many different ways to create stuff that you don't need the latest and greatest. I will use old products, things that I've had in my stash for a long time, but I will also use a lot of recycled materials and things that I'll make homemade. I actually will teach myself how to do that because I think it's really important. I really want to be sensitive to those of you who cannot afford those things. And this is why, number one, I have giveaways. This is why I join so many hops, because there's so many prizes to be won that you guys can win. And actually basically just by comment on our videos and watch our videos, you get to win prizes. So that's something that can help you. So that's why always participate on those hops, watch those videos, get inspired, because you might win, and that's fantastic. This is why things that I don't use, I tend to give away. I try to either donate it to somebody in need or places that need it. So I really try to give back for everything that has been given to me. I try to pay it forward as much as I can. And every time somebody says something, I try to just kind of say, look, here, take it. And I know there's a lot of you that cannot afford it. And I'm very, very sensitive to that. And also, I feel sad. I feel that I wish I could just give you everything. I wish I could just pay for all your things. But I know that's not realistic, because as it is, I can afford things, but I can't afford everything. I'm not made out of money. I just buy what I can. And this is why this year I'm really focusing on buying what I feel and I believe it's important for me to create. I stopped buying now paper because I'm not scrapbooking, and I'm not doing card making. But if you are if you're a card maker or if you're a scrapbooker, there are ways to also do that. There's so many ways of creating things. The dollar store is really a godsend for everyone. So if you have something like a dollar store or a place where you can buy cheap stuff, then that's a really good place to start, because art can be created with basically anything. I call this phenomena the starving artist phenomena, because look, all of us as artists and our crafters started somewhere, and we started with very little bit. Even if you think of artists from the past like Van Gogh, who basically had barely anything to eat, and he just created amazing art. He was a starving artist. Most of the artists are starving and don't basically prefer creating over buying food. But that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is nowadays we can buy very inexpensive stuff and create really cool art journaling, mixed media, whatever it is, with household common things, with things that can be recycled, with things from junk, from the garbage. Like literally you can create art from garbage. And that's why I really encourage you to not give up. Even if you can't afford things, I'm sure you can find a pencil, you can find some kind of little bit of cheap paint, you can find cheap watercolors, or even just like papers, and just do something that is creative, that makes you feel good, that releases those emotions. And I truly believe that art can be anything. It doesn't have to be expensive. Yes, we are buying stuff, but it doesn't really have to be expensive. And I really appreciate you guys sharing that with me, because it's really hard for us who are doing these videos to really understand it from the other perspective. And especially people that live in North America, it is hard for them to understand third world countries and what kind of things people have to suffer or go through. So I really want to address that and just say that I'm here with you, and I'm going to show you ways of how to do it. And I really appreciate you supporting me and watching my YouTube videos. If you want to join my Facebook group, please go ahead. It's linked below. Please follow me on Instagram if you want to, and just subscribe to my channel. Press the little bell button so you'll know when my videos are coming up. And thank you so much, everyone. Have an amazing day. Bye.